You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Good morning, happy Wednesday, happy Mercury day. We have a really beautiful opportunity on this Wednesday to see things from a different perspective by the end of the day and really reflect on not only our past, but also our purpose in this lifetime. There aren't any exact planetary connections today, but there is a transit sort of playing out in the background that I want to clue you in on, because over the course of the next week or so, we will have a few days where there are lulls as far as, the major bodies connecting with each other. But this transit is playing out over the course of about a week, 2 weeks. So let me just pull up the chart so I can explain it to you here. We're talking about Venus trine Uranus. Okay, so Venus is currently retrograde. It stations direct on Saturday. And Uranus is in Taurus. So both of these planets are in Earth signs. And you can see Venus is at 11 degrees right now. Taurus is at 10 degrees. What happens when a planet is retrograde and about to go direct again, as Venus will do this Saturday, is that from our vantage point on Earth, it appears to slow down and almost stop in the sky. It's almost like if you were running one direction and you had to stop and turn the exact opposite direction, there would be that lull of you just turning around, even if you're the fastest person on Earth. It's all about momentum. So Venus is slowing down, preparing to station direct. And as that happens, she's kind of standing still for about a week or so, or appears to be standing still. So for that week, Venus and Uranus are sort of dancing in this loose trine. This never becomes exact, though. Venus does not get all the way back to the point where it meets Uranus, just about within a degree of that exact trine. And this is playing out from January 23rd, so the beginning of this week, until February 4th, which means we will be feeling this harmony between Venus and Uranus, like I said, in the background or subtly, for the next week or so. Now, Venus is the planet of love, beauty, money, value. Uranus is the planet of change and rebellion. So I see this as feeling subtle shifts around what's going on with our relationships, subtle shifts around our values when it comes to money, when it comes to beauty, when it comes to love. So let me know if you're feeling it already, if you're kind of experiencing, and like I said, these will be subtle shifts. It's not, Uranus can be like throwing a loop in there and, like forcing change if there are exact connections or if there are really prominent connections. But since this is just subtle, I just see it as some nice, gentle shifts, especially because this is a 120-degree angle. So it's a trine, it's a fortunate angle, it's a harmonious angle, and that can bring about positive, even lucky change or transformation. This also is happening, there are no accidents in astrology. There are no accidents in the universe. This is also happening as Venus is coming out of this 6-week retrograde in Capricorn. Venus has been retrograde since December 19th. And during Venus's retrograde, we've really been asked to reflect and review our long-term commitments, our long-term investments financially, with our relationships. And you've probably felt that on some level. Also, I've been saying this about all the retrogrades, but wherever Capricorn is in your chart is going to be really affected by all these retrogrades. So pay attention to that area of your life as well as we're talking about these subtle shifts in values. For example, if Capricorn rules your 6th house, that's your house of health, wellness, and habits. So maybe you've had a shift in values around that area of your life. We also can get a renewed sense of excitement with this fortunate angle because Uranus likes to drum up some excitement, likes to drum up some surprises. So we might feel as we're coming out of Venus's retrograde and Venus is hanging out in this loose trine to Uranus, just a little sense of excitement or buzz, or like we're ready to do things a little bit differently after this Saturday. So maybe we're feeling just more motivated, or maybe motivated's not the right word, but we're feeling more like we have a little spark behind our long-term goals and desires again. Keep in mind, we experienced an exact trine between Venus and Uranus before Venus went retrograde back in November, on November 18th. So maybe something shifted for you around that time, like a major shift, and Venus retrograde forced you to review whatever area of your life that was happening in. And now that Venus is about to station direct, she's meeting back up with Uranus loosely. She's like not exactly connecting with Uranus, but like, hey, I see you over there, So maybe you're feeling all the transformation or the shifts that have been happening for you during Venus's retrograde, and you can view them with a renewed excitement, a renewed interest, and just a change of perspective in general with Uranus in the mix. Good morning, Michael. Thanks for being here. Yes, if you are a Capricorn rising, you have been really getting a renewed sense of self, really reflecting on your sense of self, reflecting on your purpose here, reflecting on how you're showing up in the world, maybe as a leader if Capricorn is ruling your 1st house, or if you're a Capricorn rising, because all of those planets in Capricorn are being activated by these retrogrades. We have Mercury retrograde in Capricorn right now, Venus retrograde in Capricorn right now, Mars just moved into Capricorn, and Pluto is in Capricorn. So lots of Capricorn energy activating your 1st house if you're a Capricorn rising. All right, good morning. Thank you for being here. Let me know how you guys are feeling. If you're starting to kind of come into a reflective phase of Venus retrograde, or if you're still right in the thick of it. I know right around New Year's, and especially around Christmas when Venus formed that conjunction to Pluto, that was very much like, whoa, okay, these are the shifts that are happening. This is what's dying. This is what's no longer serving us. But now that Venus is nearing the end of the retrograde, hopefully you've already gone through all the hard work of retrograde season, and maybe you're coming out on a more reflective side of it. At least that's what I hope for you. That's how it's feeling for me. Hopefully, right? You never know what curveballs a retrograde is going to throw, but yeah, let me know how you're feeling. Brad, the skeptic, Pluto is not a planet. Brad, Pluto was my planet for my planet report in the 3rd grade, so I am personally offended by this. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you're right. Pluto is no longer officially classified as a planet by the government or whoever classifies planets, but we look at all of the bodies in our solar system when we're talking about astrology because they all carry an energy that affects us. So, of course, those outer bodies, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, aren't going to have as much of an influence as the inner planets like Mercury, Mars, and Venus will, but still we can look at their influence. And we even, in astrology, if you're new here, talk about Chiron, an asteroid, Lilith, a spot on the moon's orbit. So all of these energies are at play here. Out of control SpaceX rocket on collision course with the moon. Danny, I haven't seen this. Are you seeing news about this? Oh my gosh, I hope not. We love the moon. We need the moon. Don't crash into the moon. Okay, so that's the energy that's playing out, like I said, through February 4th, this loose trine between Venus and Uranus. And now let's talk about what's going on with the moon. The moon is still in Scorpio, and this is really continuing to surface, activate those deep emotions, still in a very prominent releasing phase of the moon cycle, allowing us to release energetic attachments, release limiting beliefs, release anything really that's no longer serving us. The Scorpio moon is going to show us what's no longer serving us. Right about now, about 9 a.m., the moon is forming a trine to Neptune. So here's the moon, Neptune's in Pisces, both of them in water signs. You can see that dark blue line signifying the harmonious exact angle between the two planets. This is helping us start our day with a little bit more imagination. You know, maybe you had vivid dreams this morning as you were waking up, or if you are an early riser, you might have just started the day feeling a little more creative, even a little bit more intuitive, with Neptune making this harmonious connection to the moon. However, this also can amp up our sensitivity a little bit, not in a negative way, but it can make us just more sensitive in general to the energy around us, other people's emotions. Keep that in mind, especially with both of these planets in water signs. That's really going to activate that psychic intuition ability. This is really what's headlining the first part of our day, because we don't have any other connections until 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you are feeling inspired, or even if you're not feeling inspired, leaning into creativity while the moon is connecting to Neptune can really bring about good fortune and even luck in this 120-degree angle. So yes, definitely lean into creativity, lean into your imagination, lean into fantasy a little bit. This can all bring about positivity. Just if you are already an empath or a really emotional person, or if you're feeling highly emotional because of the Scorpio moon, which I got you, I totally get it, protect your energy. With Neptune in the mix, again, this opening yourself up, being receptive, will bring about good fortune while the moon is connecting to Neptune in this way. However, just, you know, if you're already really sensitive, beware that you might be more sensitive. How do we find the chart or our house on our chart? That's a great question. So if you're looking at your chart, there should be numbers on the inside of it. I would recommend booking a reading. I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but if you're new to astrology, that's the easiest, fastest way to understand. And this year I'm working on some other ways and resources to direct you to be able to teach yourself as well if you're not ready to invest in a reading. But yes, if you're looking at a birth chart, I always send people to astrotwins.com or astrostyle.com. The Astro Twins are my favorite astrologers. They have a free birth chart calculator. You can even just Google free birth chart Astrostyle or Astro Twins and put in your birth information. And then once it pops up, you should be able to see little numbers. And generally, if you just look at Crystal, the chart here, this doesn't have house numbers. Or no, it does, excuse me. So actually take a look at this chart and see how this has a 1 on the inside. So if somebody was born at, 8:35 a.m. this morning, this would be their birth chart, and this would be their first house. So yes, pay attention to wherever Capricorn is on the outside, that area of your chart, that house of your chart is going to be activated. Let me know if that makes sense or if you have any other questions. Okay, so we have the moon connecting with Neptune right now, dreamy, imaginative vibes. Then by 5 p.m., the moon forms another really nice connection to Pluto, but this time it's going to be a sextile. So what does that mean? It's a supportive angle. Let me back up here. Okay, so the moon, 26 degrees in Scorpio, forming this nice supportive angle to Pluto at 26 degrees in Capricorn, a 60-degree angle. And this is called a sextile. A lot of astrologers refer to it as a sexy sextile, but could be a great time to do just that, because the moon in Scorpio, very seductive, very sultry, emotional, but also aware of our own depths, right? That's the Scorpio moon vibe. Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So definitely that shadowy darkness that many of us maybe lean to when we're partaking in those activities. Can you tell my Virgo is coming out, like trying to cover up, like we can't have sex talk. But this 60-degree angle between the moon and Pluto about 5 p.m. Pacific time, also other than, just being a great time for pleasure, we'll just put it that way. This is a really great time to release deep emotions as well. This can be a really cathartic moment in the Scorpio moon's, the moon's trek through Scorpio. This could also be a moment, when the moon connects with the planet of shadows. This could uncover some secrets, again, release those deeply buried emotions. But a sextile requires a little bit of effort to make the most of it. So we can really only take advantage of this energy if we're willing to go there. We can only, have a pleasurable experience if we're willing to open ourselves up to it. We can only have this cathartic release or uncover maybe some information that's been stored in our subconscious for a long time if we're willing to be brave, if we're willing to be vulnerable. There has to be a level of courage or input into it for us to get something out of it. But don't be surprised. I wrote, as I was writing out today's transits on thespiritualjournalist.com, I wrote, this is the moment of truth. The moon forms a sextile to Pluto, and this could be a moment of truth, whether that's a moment of you seeing your own truth, whether that's a moment of truth being revealed to you. But again, you have to be open to it in order to receive it. So that is the second connection the moon makes. And then by 9 p.m. Pacific time, we have a conjunction between the moon and the south node. So we'll jump ahead a few hours here. And you'll see the moon getting closer and closer until it is right on top of the south node in Scorpio. The north node represents our purpose in this lifetime, the lessons we're here to learn. The south node represents our karmic past, the lessons we came into this life already knowing. And so when the moon forms a conjunction with the south node, especially a Scorpio moon, which can heighten our psychic abilities, you could have flashes of insight about a past life or about a past version of yourself. I wrote, hello, past life. So, if you are someone who has been curious about a past life or been wanting to learn more, even opening yourself up to like a meditation tonight could reveal to you maybe some information from a stored memory. This could be like from a past life, actually, past lives, or from a past version of yourself. Like I said, we kind of live many lives in one lifetime, if you know what I mean. So this could also, force you to reassess a past version of yourself, because take a look at the chart. At the same time as this conjunction is happening, the moon is sextile to Mercury Retrograde, getting support from Mercury Retrograde, helping those insights come through, helping those psychic downloads come in. So, as we're reflecting, we're reviewing, think back to a past version of yourself. Give yourself credit for how much you've grown, for sure. And just use this overall as an opportunity to reflect on the past, reflect on what you want to call in or embody in the future, and gain awareness about your purpose here in this lifetime. By looking back, we can gain more clarity about the present. And the very last thing we'll talk about is the moon moving into Sagittarius. That doesn't happen until just before midnight. So the moon will be in Scorpio almost all day, moves into Sagittarius at about 11:35 Pacific time. So as much as we won't really feel the Sagittarius energy today, just a little preview, this is going to set the stage for an expansive period in the moon cycle. We've done that reflection, that deep emotional work. We've let things out. We're releasing. We're continuing to release today under this Scorpio moon as the moon continues to wane and move into Sagittarius, heading towards that new moon in Aquarius on Monday. This is really the time for us to expand on our emotional awareness. Take anything that came up, anything we learned, anything that came through while the moon was in Scorpio, anything we released, and now we can start to expand on that awareness and learn more, higher knowledge. That's something Sagittarius rules. I wrote, surrender to the lessons the universe is teaching over the next few days. As the waning moon is getting ready to become new, this is a time to surrender. And Sagittarius is that that sign of higher learning. So, listen up, listen to what lessons the universe is teaching you. You can gain some more clarity and awareness about everything you've been learning. It could kind of all click over the next couple days with the moon in Sagittarius. You are so welcome, Crystal. And as always, let me know if you have any other questions. That's why this is a live stream, because I want to be able to interact with you and help you understand astrology as well. All right, we're going to do a brief wrap up and then pull a card. So we don't have any exact planetary connections today, but we're starting to feel the effects of this aspect playing out in the background. Venus is forming a loose trine to Uranus as Venus is slowing down, preparing to station direct this Saturday. She sort of hangs out in the same spot in the sky, and Venus is coming in within a degree of a harmonious angle to Uranus, helping us to understand and reflect on the subtle shifts happening in our values. All of the things that have changed or maybe fallen away while Venus has been retrograde since mid-December, we're starting to come out of that and feel more aware of those shifts happening in our relationships, in our finances, and in our overall values when it comes to what we find beautiful in this life. The moon makes its last connections in Sagittarius today. The moon makes its last connections in Scorpio today, first forming that same harmonious angle to Neptune, helping us lean into our imagination, our creativity, heightening our psychic abilities and our sensitivities. The moon then this evening gets support from Pluto. This is a moment of truth. This 60-degree angle to Pluto can help us really release deeply buried emotions and reveal any secrets or limiting beliefs or information that's been stored in our subconscious. This is the time to let it out, and doing so could really be helpful in the whole transformative process you're going through. The last connection the Scorpio moon makes is a conjunction to the South Node. And when the moon meets up with the South Node, we're very emotionally aware of our past lives and our past selves. At the same time, the moon gets support from Mercury Retrograde. So we're really reflecting on the past in this moment and using that reflection as an opportunity to gain awareness about who we want to become in the future. Lastly, the moon enters Sagittarius late tonight, setting the stage for an expansive next couple days. So that's what's going on. Let's quickly pull a card because I'm going to get booted off of my Wi-Fi very quickly here. And yeah, as I'm shuffling, let me know if you have any final questions. Do a quick shuffle. I'm going to use my favorite deck, the Work Your Light deck today. All right, what do we need to know? Play. Play, the play card. I love this. Have fun, celebrate, don't be serious. Love the play card. So, firstly, this comes to mind as right now what's happening, the moon forming this nice flowing angle to Neptune, really allowing us to lean into creativity. Creativity is really the best way to use this, and good fortune can come from being creative when the moon connects to Neptune in this way. So play, be creative today. Don't be so serious. That is what the card is telling us. Let me see if I can find the description. Here we go. Play, have fun, celebrate, don't be serious. Stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. Hello, creativity. You're being called to rest and play and learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh. The best medicine all around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child on a date. Hello. The more you switch off your mind, the more room for spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other. Make play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it in. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them, just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in spirit, and when you are in your spirit, you fall into flow with life. How do you play? What do you do to have fun? What lights you up? If you've been working hard lately, Guilty. It's time to celebrate how far you've come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on vacation, or have some fun. Perfect card for today and for me because I'm going on vacation next week. And let me tell you, it is much needed. I've been working hard over here. So yes, today is a good opportunity to play, to have fun. The moon and Neptune, as I said, connecting, helping us be creative, imaginative, and also that description talked about opening your mind, giving yourself the stillness, the rest, the space to let insight come through, let your spirit guide you. When the moon forms a sextile to Pluto this evening, like I said, this could be a good time to sit in and reflect and open yourself up because psychic downloads could come through very easily tonight, even into late tonight when we talked about that conjunction between the South Node and the sextile to Mercury. So first part of the day, get creative, have fun, get that energy out, have, play. And then maybe this second part of the day is a time to just sit and reflect and allow new insights to come in. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for us here on Transits Today. I will be back with you tomorrow morning where we're going to be talking about what's going on tomorrow. Let's see. We're going to be talking about the Mercury Retrograde is going to form a trine to the North Node. So everything we just talked about with the South Node, tomorrow we'll have more insight about the future. Today's more about reflecting on the past. Tomorrow is going to be more about the future. And then the moon will be in Sagittarius tomorrow as well, which is the perfect stage for play and fun too. So the card always gets it right, and this one is a fun one to pull this morning. I hope you have a fabulous Wednesday, a fabulous Mercury day. If you are enjoying this, if this insight is helpful for you, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can start monetizing these videos and continue to bring you this free content. And if you're wondering, okay, how do I apply this to my life? This is all great, Olivia, but how do I apply it to my chart? I can help you out with that. Just go to thespiritualjournalist.com/readings. I have lots of different options to help you understand your own energy a little bit better. I will see you right back here tomorrow morning with another episode of Transits Today. But until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.